Could 40 days change your life? Yes. Yes, it can. We'll show you how to combine the art and the science to help you live a better life. Welcome to H40 with Freedomology. I'm Greg, and I think it's awesome that you've chosen to take this step towards better health. We're going to be simplifying the science and enjoying the art of getting stronger, both physically and mentally. Let me just say up front that H40 is not a fitness course. Now, don't get me wrong. By the end of these 40 days, you're going to be in much better shape if you commit to the process. But really what we're doing here at Freedomology is much bigger than just helping people with fitness. We're changing the way that people look at life and really helping them actually fall in love with their lives. Let me tell you what I mean. If you ask most people if they're healthy, what will they say? Most people, I think, will start describing how much they weigh or how much exercise they do, maybe what diseases or chronic illnesses they have or run in the family. They're going to describe their bodies, their physical health. That's what most people think of, and maybe that's what attracted you to H40 in the first place. But I'm convinced that a true picture of health has at least 3 components, and they are all connected. There's our physical health, sure, like how much we weigh, how strong we are, what's our body fat percentage, how's our endurance and cardio? Is our body functioning as it should? And I think most health programs, they focus on these types of things. But is your body all there is to you? I mean, we are complex and multi-dimensional creatures. You have a body, but you also have a mind. And you are also occupying an environment at all times. So really, in my opinion, any serious discussion of health needs to involve all 3. If you have ripped abs, let's say, and you can run a marathon, but you wake up anxious every single day, or you maybe even suffer from depression, are you healthy? Or if you hate the place you work and your environments make you feel like you're in a prison, does that mean you're healthy? I don't think so. What you're gonna find during this H40 sprint is that it's gonna hit all these different areas of your life. We're gonna be talking about your mental health, and we're gonna give you the tools to make some major shifts in your mindset. We're gonna give you strategies for creating spaces that you love being in, that you can wake up each day feeling inspired and energized. And yes, we're gonna give you the exact formula for building a body that lets you do the kinds of things that you wanna do in your life. These 40 days are gonna change the way that you see yourself, your life, and the world you live in. Let me tell you a quick story about Josh. So he's a 47-year-old former high school athlete who hasn't worked out in about 15 years. I actually work with Josh, and he's just this incredible guy. And as a matter of fact, he's married to Tracy, who also works with us. Our company sort of brought them together. Tracy is very into health and fitness, and they have 2 kids, both in grade school. And Josh has been, I'd say, pretty interested in getting back in shape. He wanted to lose the love handles. But he's been very interested in having more energy and just creating a more positive body, mind, and spirit. And Tracy has tried, and man, she's tried for the past 10 years or so to get him off the couch and sort of back into the gym, just sort of start working out again. And it wasn't until he applied the ideas that we're gonna go over in H40 that it all really just finally clicked for him. And I'm not gonna steal his thunder because you're gonna hear this amazing story. I want him to tell you in detail what he did during the program and just how it impacted his life, because it's such an incredible story. It was just such this profound physical and mental transformation that he experienced, and it all happened with one little decision. He moved from the land of interested to the world of committed. Basically, he told me that nothing he did in H40 was actually hard. It was rather easy. It was easy because he simply made the mental switch from interested to committed. And I'm gonna show you how to turn that switch on for yourself, just like Josh did, because he was just sick and tired of always being sick and tired. So for you, it might not be about getting a magazine cover body, although you're welcome to, and more power to you. For us, it's about multidimensional health. We call it holistic health. It's health in every sense that matters for building a life that you actually love. That's what we're all about here at Freedomology, looking at the whole life and the whole person. Just as we see health having these sort of 3 dimensions of physical, environmental, and mental health, We believe that life itself has these three core pillars that we should be focusing on. And these are health, which we're covering right now in our H40 sprint, financial freedom, so time and money, which we're going to cover in our financial F40 sprint, and relationships, which we dive deep in on in our R40 sprint. These three pillars, they're like the ingredients for a life of freedom and really deep joy, because there's a science to these things. There's a science to growing your income and assets and actually building a business. There's science behind how to have better physical and mental health and how to build incredible relationships. But, and this is a big but, what most people get wrong is the art of actually putting it all together. How do you do all three at the same time? Because I've seen too many people focus on, let's just say, building wealth. They're consumed by this idea that more money is gonna make them more happy or solve all their problems. And money is great, it's a useful tool. And I've been fortunate enough to make a lot of it in my lifetime and help others do the same. But let me tell you something super important. There are plenty of problems that money doesn't solve. Money doesn't fix a broken marriage. Money doesn't fix your bad eating habits. It doesn't cure anxiety or depression or stress. It actually might make them worse. Money doesn't give you a sense of purpose and meaning in your life. It doesn't make you fall in love with your life. So I think instead we should be focusing on building a life that we love. And money is really just one piece of that puzzle. I've seen too many people make a lot of money at the expense of their health and their relationships. That's why we decided to start Freedomology and create these systems. That's why you're here. You know it's time for a change. You believe that things could be better than they currently are, and you're ready to do something different. And let me assure you that you are in the right place. I have no doubt in my mind that if you apply what we're gonna go over during H40 and you commit to changing, that you're gonna see incredible results. You're gonna get to the end of this challenge and really feel like a new person with new habits and a new outlook on life. Your mental, physical, and environmental health is gonna be dramatically improved. And we know this because before we launched H40 publicly, we actually did an internal version at our companies, the one that Josh participated in. We had 23 team members commit to the H40 process, and over those 6 weeks, we saw dramatic results. Several people lost more than 5% of their body fat, which is incredible. Their aches and pains went away. Hundreds of pounds were lost, and almost everyone established a morning routine, like a way to start their day off the right way with a clear mind and very focused purpose and energy. And one incredible revelation was that when they committed to changing their habits and making healthier choices, they actually ended up improving their relationships with people closest to them. This process works. We've seen it. But here's the thing. It's gonna take commitment. And I wanna talk to you for just a minute about something that we call the icky question. Maybe the most important question that you're ever gonna ask yourself, and you can apply it everywhere. ICCY. So these are like the levels of commitment, and the most basic level is really just interest. That's what the I stands for. For example, I like golf. I'm interested in golf, but I'm not a great golfer, and I know that. And I've gone back and forth between like really wanting to improve my golf game over the years, but I don't think I'm fooling anyone. Like when I stand up there on the first tee, I get up and I get ready to hit that ball. I have no idea where that thing's gonna go. I'm hopeful that I'm gonna pipe it right down the middle of the fairway, but usually that does not happen. And you know why? Because I've never really committed to golf. I've never committed to actually getting better at golf. I've realized the past few years that I love golf, but I'm just interested in sort of my talent or my ability. And that's where it ends for me. And we probably both know people who are interested in their marriage. But interest alone is not enough to make a marriage last. It takes a commitment. You know, when you're interested, you tend to think like, what am I getting out of this relationship versus being committed? What can I do to enhance? How can I improve? How can I create? How can I build this relationship? And that's what the first C stands for, commitment. This is where you're gonna make this mental shift, like flip this switch in your brain where you decide that you're gonna move beyond just interest to commitment. in these different areas. Hard is going to become doable when we're committed. There's a ton of science behind this, and we're going to get into that, but it's an attitude or a mindset that you're going to do something no matter what. It actually removes a lot of the choices that keep you sort of waffling back and forth and makes it harder and more complicated. Commitment, that's what it's going to take to see results in age 40. That's the only thing that you have to give to us. The only promise that you have to make to me is that you're going to be committed. We're going to be giving you a ton of new ideas completely for free. But how you pay us back is simply commit to becoming stronger and actually having a better life. Like when you see these extreme sport athletes, they're jumping out of airplanes and they're doing all kinds of daredevil stunts. They're at the top of their game. They're not just committed to their sport, they've dedicated their lives to it. They're crazy about it. Now, this may be just a fringe minority who just go above and beyond, or they go all in on their thing, whatever it is. But what could that be for you? What might you be crazy about? And we're going to be excited to actually help draw this out during the entire sprint process here at Freedomology. For this health sprint, you don't have to go crazy. You're welcome to, but you don't have to. But you do have to be committed. We'll even have some ideas for you crazy people. I'm definitely committed and crazy about certain parts of my life. As a matter of fact, I've worked out off and on for the past 20 years. I've been very committed to what I thought was my health and physical fitness. I've only realized these last few years that although I was committed to actually working out, I was only interested in my diet. I was one of those off and on dieters. I would try the Atkins or paleo. I tried intermittent fasting. I would move back and forth in and out and see a little bit of results. But for the most part, I definitely wasn't seeing the improvements in my health that I wanted to, that I needed to. I had too much fat, not enough energy, and I had high blood pressure. And it wasn't until I moved from interested to committed to everything that I put into my mouth that everything seemed to change for me. And this is one of the most exciting parts about our training, is that you're gonna fall in love when we get to module 2, which we call eat. I'm gonna show you a cutting edge way to approach food. It's really not diet related at all, and it's gonna help you lose fat and increase energy massively. But you're gonna have to make that leap. You're gonna have to make that decision, because there's gonna be times during the next 40 days when you won't feel like it. In those moments, you're gonna need to have already made that decision. You're not interested in your health anymore. You're committing to it no matter what. So we have interested, we have committed, we have crazy, and then the last part of the icky question is why? Why are you doing this? Why right now? Why did you make the decision to get involved in H40 and press play on this video? Nietzsche, the philosopher, once said that he who has a why can bear almost any how. And if you know the why behind this commitment that you're making, it's gonna serve as an anchor for you in those moments when it might become challenging. You can remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. For Josh, he was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. For me, I'm approaching 50 and I wanna really enjoy these next 50 years, because my personal motto is the absolute best part about life is experiencing the world with people we love. And I love adventure, I love traveling, I love the outdoors, and I need my body to be in good shape to keep attacking life. So what is it for you? Maybe it's for somebody that you love. Maybe it's because that you want to be around them longer, or you want to be more active. Maybe it's because you just see yourself going downhill, and for some of us, quickly. Maybe you want to become the best version of yourself. Or maybe you just want to fall in love with your life again. Whatever it is, get concrete about it. Write it down, and that's actually going to be your first assignment here in H40. Which brings me to our workbook. So throughout this sprint, your workbook is going to act sort of as your guide. In there, you're going to find resources, notes, and assignments to help keep you on track and really apply what you're learning. So there's a section in the intro for you to write down your why. And once this video is over, take a few minutes and really write down why you're doing this. Get as specific as you can when you write this down. And then the next section I want to point out is the calendar in the front of your book. We call this the MAD calendar, and MAD stands for Minimum Acceptable Day. you'll quickly find out that we love acronyms here at Freedomology. So your minimum acceptable day is something that you're going to define for yourself because it's going to depend on your goals. But it's essentially what you're committing to do each day, no matter what, throughout this sprint. So what's the minimum that you're going to do to call a day successful? For example, in the next module, we're going to be covering a morning routine, and that's something that you're going to commit to for the next 40 days. So that would be part of your MAD, part of your minimum acceptable day. For each day that you hit your goal and you do what you said you're going to do, you're going to actually put a big X on the calendar in that day. And our goal is to pile up as many X's in a row as we can. Definitely 40 X's in a row. Don't break the chain. This is a form of internal motivation and a kind of a mind hack. Actually, Jerry Seinfeld used this when he was writing jokes. He woke up, he sat down, and no matter what he did, he wrote new jokes every day. And then he put a big red X on his calendar. The longer the streak, the higher your motivation to keep it going. So it's like this reinforcing sort of perpetual thing. Now, this H40 course is going to touch on several different aspects of health, like I mentioned at the beginning. And the way it's structured is it's going to stack habits each week. We're not going to try and bombard you with everything in week one. Instead, it's going to progressively build on itself. So really, by the end of the challenge, you're going to have built up several new habits that can be sustained long after these 40 days are over. Again, our goal here isn't just to whip you into shape, it's to help really kickstart a brand new approach to life for you. This is designed to help you build a new lifestyle, become physically and mentally stronger. Really not just shred down for the summer, although you will probably look pretty good. So as we finish, let me just give you a sneak peek as to what the next 6 weeks is going to look like. Week 1 is what we call Adam. It's all about establishing a morning routine that starts your day off the right way. It's simple, but incredibly important, and it's really foundational to everything else that we're doing. Week 2 is called Eat, and you guessed it, it's about changing your relationship to food. We're gonna start to see food a little bit differently and something that can actually make us feel great, not just while we're eating, but long after it as well. And week 3 is called Move. This is where we're gonna start to introduce some different exercise routines, some new ideas, some things that you probably haven't even thought about. And again, we're gonna change the way that we view ourselves and the movement of our bodies. The big idea here is that exercise and movement isn't something we have to do. It's something we actually get to do. We're gonna help you fall in love with just moving every day. And week 4 is all about biohacking. If that's a new term for you, it just means optimizing our physical and mental health really at the root level, making sure that every system in our body is operating at peak capacity. And this is also where we'll cover supplements and really some outside the box ideas. Week 5 is flow. And in this week, we're gonna talk about how and why our environments are so important to our physical and mental health. We see them as sort of the connective tissue. And if we transform where we live, where we work and play, that's gonna make it so much easier to be mentally and physically strong. You're gonna pick an environment and you're gonna turn it into a space that you love being in, that inspires you. And week 6 is sort of the final frontier. This is the last of our 40 days, and we call it rest. This week is gonna focus on sleep and its role in our mental and physical health. Sleep isn't just something that we do between our healthy habits. It's a foundation for our bodies. And it's just so important to get this right. And I think most people don't even think of sleep as being really a part of improving their health. So we're gonna show you several ways that you can improve the quality of your sleep and some things that you probably have never even tried. Remember, we're gonna be simplifying the science and enjoying the art of it all. You're gonna love it. And then at the end, we're gonna gather one more time to celebrate your results and progress and really talk about how to maintain these habits going forward. It's 40 days of commitment and intention. And if you give yourself to this process, it's gonna be 40 days that forever changes your relationship to life itself. So thanks again for being a part of this. I'm so glad that you made the decision to make a change, and now it's up to you to move from interest to commitment. So pick up your workbook and start by reflecting on your why. Write it down in as much detail as you can. And I'm gonna see you next week for the start of our 40-day sprint to better health, mind, body, and spirit.